If you've been struggling financially or you have a history with money that has not allowed you to achieve the results that you want, if you experience a limited cash flow, then it's not your fault. You've been lied to, you've been deceived, you have been coerced and indoctrinated into being set up to fail financially. So I'm going to explain to you in this video how this has occurred. And now that you will understand what has actually been the foundation and the reason for your failure financially, it is now your responsibility to fix it, to take control of your financial future, because you are infinitely powerful and you have the ability to achieve anything you put your mind to with the right belief systems, with the right belief in yourself. You can achieve anything. You can be unstoppable. So welcome to day 13 of the 30-day money mindset challenge. I am super excited that you are here. Let's dive in. So the financial system has set you up to fail. There are a certain very small number of people at the top who deliberately created and designed our world that set the vast majority of people up to fail and to be enslaved by these systems. I kid you not. So if you look at things like the health systems, the school systems, the banking systems, the governmental systems, all of it is actually very well integrated and designed in a very specific way that has indoctrinated you to believe in a certain ways, to behave in certain ways, to conform and to comply to the systems. And if we don't comply and conform, then we are sort of forced to, we are corralled into it. So when would now be a good time to stop complying and to stop conforming to the systems that have deceived you, lied to you, and that have been deliberately created to keep you in a state of enslavement and disempowerment? I thought you'd come to that conclusion. So firstly, you need to understand more about the monetary system that you are playing within. And yes, I call it playing for a very specific reason. If we treat it more like a game and less serious, then it's actually more fun to learn how to play the game to win. So you've been set up to fail, and the people who are winning, they are playing the game to win. They are not playing the game not to lose, which the vast majority of people are so scared of losing their financial resources. They don't back themselves. They don't make empowered decisions about their financial future, and they tend to become stuck in this Groundhog Day, relying on external sources as their source of financial income. That is the conditioning of get an education, get a job, get into all the debt that you possibly can to achieve the stuff that we're told we must have. And then at some point, hopefully you've paid off enough of that debt to be able to retire. And by that time, you're exhausted, worn out. You don't necessarily have a lot of time to enjoy before you just drop off the perch. Now, that is not a life that I wanted to really live. I just looked at the system and went, no, this doesn't work for me. I can't work within these parameters. Who made these rules anyway? I'm a bit of a rule breaker. So it's time for you to step outside of this indoctrination pattern and paradigm that you have been conditioned into. Are you ready? Okay. So there are people who are playing by different rules in the same game, and that's why they're getting different results. So number one, you need to educate yourself about the monetary system, how it works, and how to set yourself up to win. Now, one very inconvenient truth is that those people who win and win big, they actually have a high appetite for risk. However, they offset that by collecting data and information that when they make a decision, they make it being as fully informed as they can possibly be to set themselves up for success. It doesn't mean that they're guaranteed not to fail, but they will collect data, they will learn what they need to learn, and as they gather information and they assess the risk that they're about to take, and the potential reward, if the reward outweighs the risk, that's when they go in. But they know the environment, they understand the terrain as much as they possibly can before they take action. Now, this is a skill set that you will develop along the way. So I don't recommend that you take high levels of risk at this point. You start by risking small amounts, all right? And then you learn. And you're not going to win every time. Just understand that. You're not going to win every time. Not every investment that you make will actually give you the return on investment that you expect. Sometimes you won't receive any return on your investment at all, except for the learning experience. I have been through that so many times. And the learning experience is sometimes valuable anyway and sets me up to succeed in future. So this is a powerful point and part of your success. Learning to make decisions and make the right decisions. And that is a skill set that you will develop. So learn about the monetary system. Play the game to win, not play the game not to lose. There's a very big distinction there. And of course, you've got to do the personal internal development to be able to feel worthy and confident about your ability to create massive wealth, to be able to work with money and invest money in a way that creates an ever-expanding amount of money, because the wealthy and successful, they know how to use money and leverage money to grow money. That's one of the biggest things. Rich and wealthy people know how to make money. They know how to keep money, not spend it hand over fist on things that they don't need or that won't advance their future wealth. And they know how to grow money, so they know how to invest it. That is how you become a good money steward. You look for sound ways to invest a certain amount of your income to be able to win and ultimately win big. So even though the system is rigged against you, it is time for you to flip the script. It is time for you to educate yourself in a way that empowers you financially, that you have the confidence to be able to start making decisions in favor of your future wealth and success, and that you stop relying on financial sources of income that you cannot control. So if you have a job, or if there is another party who is in control of the amount of money that you earn, on whether that money continues to flow, then it's time to become an entrepreneur. It is time, either you have a side hustle or you start a business that ultimately becomes a full-time occupation, and you focus on one venture first. You build that to the point where you have a sense of financial security. There's a certain amount of leverage and automation that you can be able to take a small amount of your focus off that operation, off that venture, and you can start to focus on another one. Now you can, whatever it is that you're doing in the entrepreneurial world, and there are a gazillion different options, do what you feel passionate about. Do what lights you up, what feeds your soul. I am all about helping entrepreneurs to build wealth through a business that feeds their soul and makes a positive difference in the world. It is about monetizing your passion. It is about monetizing your core genius, your superpowers, about doing what you came here to do, because that is the most rewarding way you will ever make money. So once you have decided on sort of what you're going to do, what your mission, your purpose, your passion is, then you've got to look at the business model that you put in place, on the solution that you have for people that solves a problem for people, because that's what entrepreneurship is. It's solving problems for a profit. Then you put a plan in place to be able to monetize your gifts, your talents, your superpowers, your genius in this model, and then you scale it. Now, once you've done it once, you can rinse and repeat, and you can do it again in a similar model. Or you can choose to maybe take a slightly different path and do something different. I recommend that once you have built one venture to a place where you feel confident that you can take just a part of your attention away and build something else, but you do something similar. So you do it again, maybe in a different niche, maybe with a different product, maybe with a different solution, but you build something alongside the first one that is similar because you know it, you're familiar with it. You'll be quicker this time. You understand the pitfalls. You'll understand that the mistakes that you made in the first place, you won't make the same mistakes again. Now, if you can do that multiple times to have multiple streams of income coming in, wow, you now have a certain amount of financial security. Financial freedom will come later on down the track. Financial freedom is getting to the point where you can choose what you want, what to do, when you want to do it, who you want to do it with. You can make much better quality choices about everything in your life, and that's what money is. Money is the power to make better quality choices in your life about every part of your life. But don't want to get to this point too quickly, because that's what trips too many people up. They stop because it's not moving fast enough, because they're not getting results overnight, because they're sold a promise of massive wealth, of quick riches, and they're impatient. Put aside your impatience. Choose to be patient in a way that gives you the mental capacity to build and build and build and build in steps and layers. Now, yes, you want to get from where you are to where you want to be as quickly as possible, and you can set yourself up to do that, but it's not going to happen overnight. There will be failure involved. So brace yourself, buckle up, be resilient, be persistent, be consistent. Show up every single day with a can-do, no matter what, whatever it takes kind of attitude. Now that you know that you are set up to fail in the beginning, and that sucks, man. I don't care how old you are, whether you're in your 20s or whether you're in your 50s and 60s, now is the best time to start securing your financial future, backing yourself, building something that leaves a legacy, that helps you to create wealth as fast as possible, and you lay the foundation, you build your mindset, an unstoppable, wealth-driven mindset, and you go all in. If you value yourself, if you value your dreams, if you believe in some part of you that you're worth it, then go all in. So what are some practical steps that you can take to set yourself up to succeed with money? Well, number one, as I've already said, is to understand the rules of the game. Immerse yourself in the world of money, in the world of wealth. Study how the wealthy become wealthy and successful. Know the rules. The vast majority of people on the planet fail miserably with money because they don't understand the rules. How on earth can you set yourself up to win any game if you don't first understand the rules of the game and how to play to win? It's all about strategy. And to be perfectly honest, I call it a game, and it is, but money, success, wealth, it's more like a blood sport than anything else. So you've got to set yourself up to win by understanding the rules of the game to begin with. Number two, become an entrepreneur. Divorce yourself from being reliant on somebody else to provide you with your source of income and become an entrepreneur. In order to do that, you need to offer value to the marketplace. In a crowded marketplace of ideas, you need to package up your brilliance, your skills, your expertise, your gifts, your talents, your superpowers in a way that offers value to a hungry marketplace. Now, I encourage you to follow what's called the rule of one. So winning in business, in the entrepreneurial space, you need to solve problems. You solve problems for a profit. So you identify a problem, you create a solution, then you find the people who have that problem and you offer them value by saying, I will solve your problem for you, and for that you will pay me money. The formula itself is actually quite simple. However, in a massively crowded marketplace of ideas, you have to differentiate yourself. So it is one problem that you identify, one target audience that has the problem, and one solution that you provide for that problem. Focus on that, because keep it simple. If you overcomplicate it, you will just get caught up in all the details, because as I said, this is not easy. So buckle up, put your big person pants on, and get ready for the ride of your life. This is like a contact sport, and it is harder than any game you will ever play. But to set yourself up for success, again, understand the rules of the game. Learn, never stop learning. Become hungry for more and more and more knowledge, implementing what you learn as you go. That's key. Too many people think, I've got to learn this, I've got to learn that, I've got to do this, before they actually do anything. Learn, implement, learn, implement, learn, implement. Because you will fail. That's all a part of the process. That's okay. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off. That's actually one of the biggest learning curves, is the failure that is your feedback. Remembering to differentiate yourself from your competition by identifying what makes you and your solution unique from everybody else, and learn how to articulate that very clearly to your audience. Your marketing is one of the most important skills you will ever learn. Make the decision to play the long game. This, as I said, is not easy. You will be challenged many, many times along the way. You will want to quit many times along the way. And it is going to take longer than you anticipate, because people overestimate what they can achieve in the short term. They underestimate what they can achieve in the long term. So don't get impatient. Patience is your friend. And systematically take action every single day. Just focus on what is the next most logical step. There are a gazillion things you can do each and every day in your business. Identify what those things are. Prioritize them according to the progress that you will get as a result of executing on those things. Rinse and repeat every single day. Even if you have a limited amount of time, you can still do this in the time that you have. And it's not actually about the time that you have, it's about the time that you make. If this is a priority for you, then you need to prioritize your actions around the time that you have, and make the time, schedule the time, find the places that you are already maybe wasting time. Take that time, have discipline, and use it wisely. Remember, this is your future we're talking about. And it will be hard in the beginning. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. But if you're willing to do what's hard in the beginning, you will actually have a much easier life in the long term. And vice versa, if you're not willing to do what's hard in the beginning, because there is a saying, those who are willing to do what others won't do will be able to have what others will never have. Okay? This applies to just about everything. If you look at a gold medal athlete, most people are never going to apply themselves physically, mentally, the time involved, the amount of injuries they endure, the amount of setbacks they experience, the amount of failure that they experience. Most people don't have the mental fortitude to go the distance. Make sure you are prepared for that. And one thing that I highly recommend is that you get people in your team, on your team, and in your environment who are going to support you, pick you up when you're down, and make sure that you never, ever, ever quit. Never quit. You cannot fail if you don't quit. So if you've gotten value out of this, do me a favor, show me some love, like and subscribe, comment below, let me know how this landed for you. If you would like help with any of this, then you can download my 20 wealth creation tips for conscious entrepreneurs. It's totally free. The only thing you need to do is type wealth in the comments below, and I will send you the link to download the free guide. So you can do that right now. And if you have missed any of the previous videos, you will find them all in the playlist right here. You can check them out now.